Great. So we are live now. Tanya.
Awesome.
Yay. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Will you share the link in the chat, Vandy, so that I can share it with everyone online?
Absolutely. 1 minute.
Cool. So hi, everyone. Should we all introduce ourselves?
Yes, let's do that.
Do you want to start, Vandy?
Oh, sure. Hi, everyone. I am Vandana, and I am working as a security architect with one of the multinational companies. Also, with the WASP, I am one of the global board of directors. I also run Infosec Girls, and I'm part of VUSEC, which is Women of Security. So yes, that's about me.
Great. So I'll be next. Hi, everyone. I'm Shira, and I am the co-chair of OSP Israel. I recently opened a new startup, which I lead. It's called Persolvo, because we solve problems in the cloud security area. And in addition to that, I lead Security Diva in Israel, which is a mentoring program for women who want to get into Infosec. So this is me.
Emma?
Hi everyone, my name's Emma. I'm currently a co-host or co-lead of the Dublin chapter for OWASP here in Ireland. And I'm also a part of, well, I'm trying to get into WOSEC, so start a chapter up in Ireland, and then I'm also part of, there you go, also a part of Women Hackers. And I work as a security analyst when I'm a student as well.
Emma?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Wait. It's my fault, never mind.
That's because you clicked the link in order to like it.
Yes, I clicked the link so I could look at the chat, and then I was like, why am I hearing 2 of Emma? Oh, that's my fault. Yeah, because there are 2 of Emma right now. I'm sorry. Sorry to interrupt you.
No worries. Tanya, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tanya Janka. I'm also known as She Hacks Purple, and I am head nerd at shehackspurple.dev, where I give security training and coach companies into having successful application security programs. I'm also one of the founders of the DevSlop, the OWASP DevSlop project, and WOSEC, and the Victoria OWASP chapter. Yeah. And I'm pretty excited to talk with all my friends on the internet. So thank you everyone for joining us so that you can learn about what we're up to essentially. And we have 2 people watching, just so everyone knows. Hi, thanks for joining us.
And we are all from different time zones.
Yeah.
There's a lot. We have a lot of time zones happening to us right now. 4.
Yes. Starting with PST, Indian time, then we have Israel, we have Dublin time, like all different at one place.
Yes. So I think we should tell them what all of the things meant that we talked about, like what is Infosec Girls, etc. Do you want to start with like, what is Infosec Girls?
Sure. So Infosec Girls is a community of all the women or all the people who want to be part of information security. We provide trainings, sessions, we connect with each other like we are connecting. We were connecting on a monthly basis. Now we are actually connecting on a weekly basis. We all connect, touch base with each other, share and spread knowledge. Apart from that, we also go to schools and colleges as part of Infosec Kids, so that we can train the kids also and make them part of cybersecurity.
That's totally awesome. What types of places would you say that you like do these types of activities? I know it's online right now, but I don't know, like meetups, conferences? Like where would such things happen, if that makes sense? Oh, did I lose everyone?
I think you can hear Vandana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she froze.
This makes more sense why I'm not here. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Maybe.
But she will get back to us, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. So Tanya, how about if you tell us a little bit about what's going on in Victoria these days?
So there's a lot of staying inside and doing nothing in Victoria, and that's going awesome. So we were just launching our new OWASP chapter. So I'm from Ottawa, but I moved here last July, and immediately everyone said, you need to start an OWASP chapter. I'm like, listen, I just started a new WOSEC chapter. I'm helping organize like the whole effort internationally. I'm starting my own company. Like, I have a lot of stuff to do. And then these two really great guys, Christoph and Roberto, they made the move to start one, and they're like, do you want to join us? And I was like, yes, that sounds awesome. And they're super, super nice. And they're like, they love OWASP and they're super excited. And so our first meetup was supposed to be in 2 weeks. I know. So we have some bad timing. There's actually a really, really huge tech community on the island. So I live on this beautiful island called Vancouver Island, which is off the west coast of Canada and below the 49th parallel. So we're actually like what would normally be considered American territory, except for we got in a treaty. So I'm like at the most southern part that you could be in Canada, that's such that it's below our border. Yeah, so it's really nice. And our number one industry is tech on the island. And so, yeah, they're so organized, Shira. They have, so they have all these Slack channels where you can reach basically anyone in the entire community. And we have a women's only Slack channel. There's over 1,000 women in it.
Wow.
So, yeah, so we'll have like women's meetups and there'll be like 50, 60, 70 women there. And they have to like set a maximum. They're like, sorry, we can't have any more people. The room's not big enough. And I'm used to Ottawa where we were lucky if like 6 women came or 20 women. And Ottawa's 3 times the size of Victoria.
So if this is such a strong tech community over there, can you share with us a little bit about if they're talking about new topics or having new projects related to the COVID-19 virus?
Okay, so we've all gotten really scared with COVID. We're the most, I guess, vulnerable area of Canada because our island is the retirement area for Canada. So all the elderly are here. So our average age is like 20 plus years older than the rest of Canada. So like all the young people are trying to be really extra careful because of all the not young people. And so we've all been trying really hard to be well behaved. That said, we actually have like, we don't have any COVID things that we're doing. One member of the community, he bought a whole bunch of subscriptions to my website and has been giving them away free to anyone that can't work on the island due to COVID, which is like really, really sweet. He's like, so that they can learn while they're off work. And then lots of us have like all been sharing with each other to try to help each other find jobs, but we always do that. So I wouldn't say it's like super different, if that makes sense. What's happening in, is Israel doing any sort of like super cool stuff to try to tackle COVID? Because we're just like hiding basically and doing and making like cute memes of Justin Trudeau. That's like our main activity to fight COVID.
So actually the whole tech community is really putting a lot of effort into fighting this virus. I could focus for a moment about something that is more Infosec related. Yeah. Because the Ministry of Health released an application that people download to their phones. It is monitoring but saving the data on your device regarding to your locations, like where you walking, where you're going to, and periodically it retracts from another server locations of known patients and compares it with the locations that are saved on your phone, and trying to compare and to see if you crossed paths with a coronavirus patient, to alert you that you need to go and check yourself. So the Infosec community here is very much involved in this application. They pen tested it, they checked it, they were looking for loopholes, and they were actually validating, because you are all very well aware that this kind of application could leak your locations and your private data. This is the reason why they keep the data on your device and not in an external server. But also these really great InfoSec people tested it, and some corrections were made before it was released to the public. So this is the small contribution of the InfoSec community in fighting this disease and our privacy.
That's totally awesome. That's totally amazing.
There are other groups that are building homemade respiratory devices and stuff like that, but we're talking more about InfoSec over here. So this was a cool story, I think.
I've heard that, like, I keep seeing people making cotton masks, but on the WHO website, it says not to do that because cotton actually absorbs things. So I'm like kind of confused because like I keep seeing all these people posting like I made all these amazing masks. I'm like, and then I'm like, that's cool. But then like I read the articles and they're like, you shouldn't do that and you should not wear that. And I'm just like, I'm really confused. How, like what's happening with all of that and like where that information is coming from, that like everyone is confused, if that makes sense.
Someone's uncle has a factory of these masks and they're trying to sell them.
No, like people are making like homemade ones. And I'm just like, really? Okay. Like, I don't know. Like, I never want to tell other people what to do when I'm not like, it'd be different if I was like an expert in the field or something, right? But I'm definitely not. Like, I always joke, like, in my non-medical opinion.
Over here, starting tomorrow, people are obligated when they are walking down the street, they are obligated to wear a mask, either something that you buy off a drugstore, or it could be something that you made, a DIY, like do-it-yourself kind of thing. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, maybe if you do it at home and you're not sick, or you assume you're not sick and you wash it, maybe it's okay. I have no idea. I actually bought these surgical masks, and this is what I'm going to wear starting tomorrow when I walk my dog.
I
so
have a
expensive.
ventilator, so I have the ability to like change things, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Emma, what is going on where you're staying? Where are you located these days?
Well, I'm outside Dublin at the moment, but yeah, we've been extended with a lockdown now until the end of May, well, mid-May. So it's tough, and you're only allowed out once a day, and yeah, per dog is like, 6 people going out with her once a day, so yeah, it's fun. Well, not really, locked up inside. There's no obligations though to wear masks at the moment. Hopefully we don't, but it's kind of good because InfoSec's keeping me busy, and I'm kind of in the middle of capture the flag events.
Yay! So, what kind of events?
Well, at the moment we're just doing a Jeopardy CTF with a team in Ireland. We kind of just set it up, to help with the boredom of isolation and meet new people.
So are you running the capture the flag? You built it?
No, so I ran one a couple of months ago, but at the moment we're in the middle of participating. So I built a team called Crack the Planet. We have about 60 people at the moment just participating in capture flag events around the world. So we have people in Germany and Canada and America, and it's great just to meet new people. So isolation hasn't been completely bad. We're meeting new people. We're still these events here, the virtual events. So still cool.
It's a great idea. Capture the flag is a great opportunity to learn new stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely
make use of your time at home.
Yeah, you can see all the vulnerabilities, and like we had one recently with the CTFD vulnerability, and you're learning from the real exploits and stuff. So it's pretty cool, the events that take place.
It's a great idea for something that people can do at home now that they have more free time. If they want to learn more about InfoSec, it's a great way to do it in addition or instead of watching videos of Tanya.
Could be an idea to get an InfoSec girls or WOSEC CTF running. Get the children involved.
I think we can do that. Tanya, Shira, like we all can go ahead and do a CTF online.
Yeah, we could make one.
We could, yeah.
Takes time.
Yeah, but I think we can do it.
Well, the WOSEC is planning a CTF for like all women that's online, that's free. So I was thinking I would just help with that.
Yeah, we all can help with that.
That would be cool. We're not making one though. So companies that create CTFs and like create training content, lots of them are basically like donating it for a day for free for like 1,000 women to come and do, which is super, super cool. So this will be the third one that we've planned where anyone around the world can participate for free. And it's supposed to be for women, but we know that all the genders tend to show up, but if the majority of the people are women, then that's good. And like, you know, we're doing the work so that we can have extra opportunities for lady folk. But sometimes you have to take what you can get, as the case may be.
I think the biggest issue with the whole Infosec is women kind of tend to not participate as often. They just feel like, oh, I wouldn't be able to do that, and then they don't try. Where there's people in my class in college that I'm like, you know, just try it and see if you like it, you know. It's kind of, it's hard. There's no women on my course though, so it's a struggle. But.
Does anyone have a recommendation for an online conference that we can watch or even submit a talk to?
Yeah, virtual AppSec days. So it's only going to be a 90-minute thing though. So I mean, like, I know that kind of sucks because it's only 90 minutes, but that's really cool. And then they're offering paid training, and that's I don't know, like, it's not free, but that's still really cool. Like, because it's around 20% of the normal cost that they charge. It's $500 instead of $2,500. So to me, that's like such a steal, but still like a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
I see, Tanya, you're speaking at All Talks next week or the week after, I think.
Yes, I'm speaking at all the talks. I'm also speaking at All Day DevOps, and I'm also speaking at HellaConf, because why be secure when you could be hella secure? Yeah, I'm like super, super excited. And like at one point, hella secure was supposed to be like, it was supposed to be the same day. Like it was supposed to be the same day as I'm also speaking at the Many Hats Club is having one called not Infection Con, it's not Virus Con, but it's another word for that. I'll look it up. I'll put them all in the chat.
I think it's something isolation.
Isolation Con, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Tanya, how about you write for us on the chat for everyone to see when are these conferences happening so that they could register if they want to?
You are very smart. I'm going to do that now. I actually was having all this trouble signing into the chat because it had me signed in as my OWASP account instead of my She Hacks Purple account. And I wanted to add more likes. If you're watching us, please click the like button because that helps us. Thank you. And someone's asking if we can suggest a platform to start off for CTF beginner levels.
I think there is one which is going to happen soon. Secure Code Warrior is going to do it just right after the AppSec days on 30th. So we can share the details about that. Like for beginners also, it's really amazing.
I think Pico CTF is a great one to kind of, if you're just really beginner level and trying to get into it. Like my brother, he's only 9 and he kind of done some of those challenges.
What is it? What is it called? Sorry?
Pico CTF.
Pico. Got it.
And then there's another site. Hack the Box is kind of good, but that's kind of next level. So if you're kind of already interested in CTFs, you can do machines. There's kind of a few different variations. At the moment, they're trying to update their platform and, you know, invite kids and kind of bring everyone involved into cyber. So it's good. There's plenty of CTF sites that are good to kind of train. And if you go
This
into
is usually
CCF
the
time,
problem for beginners, that there is plenty of resources
Yeah.
and they're looking for like the one or two that are right for them. So I think that your recommendation is very important at the moment.
Also, I don't have CTFs, but I have a website and I train people about security.
Yeah.
And it's shehackspurple.dev. So I'll put that in the chat too. And I'm biased, but I think it's good because I made it. And it's
and if people are
$7
looking,
a month, which is really
These are the best $7 anyone can spend, especially these days when you don't go and grab your coffee in Starbucks. This is like 2 cups of coffee, and you're going to get a lot of Tanya online, stream to your computer or your smartphone, and learn about a lot of cool stuff. I've been to a couple of Tanya's trainings, and I learned a lot. And also, she teaches in a great way that really everyone can understand and then do it themselves.
Thank you.
I look forward to one. Hopefully one day, and hopefully with
I like to
AppSec.
see. I liked your late SSRF explanation, which I think everyone can download, right?
Yeah, it's free. If you go to the download section, there's just like lots of like free one pagers where it's like how to get into Infosec or like a brief secure coding guideline that you could adopt in your office if you don't have one. And then, yeah, SSRF, like that is a big problem and it's not really covered very much right now. So
why do you think it's not like this specific vector is not covered enough?
Okay, so to like avoid SSRF, it's like a multi-step process, but if you just do good security, like if you just don't put really important things in your URL parameters and you do like really intense input validation, if people do all of the good security hygiene things like the standard defenses, there would be no SSRF. But people are missing a bunch of them or they don't know they should do them. And if you try to learn all the different vulnerabilities and then specific defenses for each one of those vulnerabilities, then for me, that's like, that's way more work than just learning, okay, so this is like a long list of defenses but it's way, way shorter than the different types of insults, or sorry, the different types of assaults that there could be or attacks. I'm writing a book and the book teaches just mostly defenses and I'm only actually covering like 5 different attacks because those 5 different attacks are quite prevalent and so weird and the standard defenses don't apply. But generally I find a lot of people focus just on like, oh, there's like these 500 types of vulnerabilities and I should just memorize all of them. Like, no, you shouldn't. If we all just do defense in depth and like practice good security hygiene and like do all the best practices, like you don't have to worry about basically any of those.
Vandana, are you working at home these days?
Yes, I'm working from home. It's been 2 weeks.
How is it like to work for a big international corporate and doing so from home?
So I think it's good because the support that I have got from the organization is huge. The challenges that I thought we might be facing, we're not facing. Like we are connecting every day virtually. If there are any doubts, there's anything, they just reach out to you, and we are also open to reach out to anyone in the organization, anyone in the leadership. If there are any concerns, you can just let them know. We are having our weekly calls with the leadership, daily calls with the team, the whole team. We go on a like a video chat and we get to see each other the way we were doing it earlier. So it's more of a close relationship, and we are heading to the right direction, I would say. I was thinking that we might be feeling that yes, it's all mixed up. Things are mixed up, like the home, family, and the work, but still there's some segregation we're trying to maintain.
Are there IT or security challenges that are unique for a large organization?
Absolutely, especially the VPNs. Like most of the people have to log into VPN to connect to the organization. So VPN load, that is very challenging. So we were only connecting once in a while from home. Now when we are connecting every day, almost everyone except the IT team is connecting from home. So that load, that's being balanced across the locations. The Wi-Fi challenges, that's big. Now earlier the Wi-Fi was like very nice. Now sometimes it's just goes away, and everyone understands that while I'm speaking and internet goes away, they understand that there's something which is happening. So these challenges are like very normal. And there were people who never worked from home, like they never had a laptop. So getting the laptops with them or shipping their desktop was like one big challenge. But
Yeah.
companies did on a very prompt basis, like within 3 days everything was sorted. Like
Wow.
shutdown was announced, but then everything, yes. So I never thought that it'd be so quick. I was thinking that India is like a huge country, and the it will take some time. But then shutdown was announced at 12 o'clock, that everything would be shut down for 21 days, and everything is shut down. Only necessary things, people are going out to get it, which is really really nice. Like that's why the infection rate is going at a very slower pace here. And everyone is so supportive. Everyone, it's by staying at home, by making sure that they go out very less. Police, healthcare, everyone, they're all coming together and working together here. And organizations are also very supportive of the employees, understanding that the situation is very critical.
That's amazing.
We have a question in the chat, and I was wondering if I could pose it. So someone was asking about, what the prerequisites are if they're going to try to start playing a CTF, and if you have to be an expert. And I was telling them, CTFs have different levels, so you can just choose an easier one, right? Like choose a beginner one and just try their best. Do any of you have some suggestions on like how to make sure, like how to be ready for a CTF?
I think just knowing your basics is kind of the main. So there's a site called ctftime.org, and they have a list of like all the current CTFs that are taking place, and it'll give you a weight. So if the weight is really high, then it's a difficult CTF, and if it's low, then it's just a beginner, or it's just a new CTF that started and it hasn't been given a weight or a category to kind of say if it's hard or easy. So I just done one there recently, Auburn CTF in America, and that had no weight, so it was beginner level. And then we came first in the whole CTF, so with the whole team behind us. So it was that's great, because now the weight will either go up or down depending on what people weigh it. So if you get there's all different percentages. There's a lot of algorithms behind picking the weight. But that'd be that's where I'd start checking there and seeing what level each CTF is currently on at the moment. I don't know, I don't really have a recommendation. If you're into security, you'll love CTFs and taking part. So just put your head in first and see what you like and what you don't like. You might like web, you might like crypto. There's many categories that you might favor.
I feel like that's fantastic advice. There's like more questions now that they've realized that we'll answer.
I also have one thing to say for people who want to get into capture the flag. You should look at this as an opportunity to learn. So don't say, oh, I don't know crypto, so I shouldn't do CTFs. No, the opposite. This is an opportunity for you to try out a new topic that you have no knowledge about. You are going to run into this for the first time, so you're going to Google it, learn some things about it, see what kind of code other people wrote in order to break it or to reverse engineer it and so on. And just try it for yourself. What's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, it is going to take you a little longer to solve the challenge, or you might fail and not solve it and then ask for someone to help you out, or wait to see if they're going to publish solutions for the CTF. So just look at it as an opportunity to learn. I mean, of course, some people look at it as a competition. It's a competition. But if you come in a humble attitude just to learn, just enjoy and learn.
I think if I was to add to that, like you're given CTF challenges, and men have a tendency, if they have a problem, they'll work on it for hours and hours. Where some people might look at a challenge and they can't get it in the first 15 minutes, it's like, okay, game over. So you should never give up after a few minutes. You should always keep trying. Like there's always a write-up out there somewhere that might have something similar, or you'll learn something new. I think the other thing is, if you're into problem solving, crypto and CTFs are a great way to learn. You're keeping the head training, and you're always going to keep up with the trends and learn something new. So I wouldn't give up. I'd try and keep trying and trying until you hate it that much that you don't want to look at it again, or whatever it might be. But to even add, I know some people here aren't probably from Europe, but anyone from Europe, there's a cybersecurity challenge, and there's like Team Ireland and Romania and France and Germany and all the countries all over Europe kind of come together, and they have one big massive CTF. So last year, it was Ireland's second time to compete last year, and we came 15th out of 25. So we done really well, and it's kind of something that everyone should try and see if they can get involved. Or I know some people have already started the qualifications to get onto the team, but something to look at if you're interested.
Cool.
Yeah, even AppSec. Yeah, remember we have Juice Shop. We can actually practice at home, or like we can set it up ourselves, and we can start playing the CDF with that, because that gives a flag once you solve anything, and then you can put in and see whether it works or not.
Oh, cool. So Nancy says hi to everyone, so you know.
Hi, Nancy.
I know. I'm like, oh, hi, Nancy. So we have like other questions. Someone has been making some nice comments. So she said, this is a really good opportunity for us to spend time with ourselves for enhancing our skills and knowledge, like on CTFs. Yes, hi, Andrew. Thank you for joining us. It says, so there's two questions, and like one is, how easy or hard is it for someone with a CCIE security certification to move towards AppSec? I don't know what a CCIE is. So
that's a networking certification, CCIE.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a person working in the network domain can easily be able to move to AppSec domain.
Okay.
So there is never like, you might have to start somewhere, like understanding how applications work. Now someone knows the network very well. So if I talk about about me, I started as a developer for 1 year, then moved to SOC. I was a SOC engineer for like 4.5 years. Understood how the whole network architecture works. Then moved to AppSec back. So it's not hard. It's just that we have to get the right reference set. The way Shira said that we have Tanya's website where you can get started. She has so many blogs written. You can read them, that how to get started in AppSec, what different vulnerabilities are. You can actually take a reference from OWASP. OWASP has a top 10 guide. Then there is a security knowledge framework.
And a lot of projects people can just try out, like the DEM serverless vulnerability application, for example, which is a great project, and anyone can download, spin up their new cloud environment and just try to hack it, for example. So a lot of pre-built projects. Sorry, Vandana. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for adding.
Yeah. So
I will share the article about how to get started with AppSec in the chat. One sec. I'm just finding it.
So I have a question for the three. Is if you could pick one conference to go to, which one would it be and why?
Right now, you cannot go to conferences.
I know, so.
But as soon
But
as
a past conference.
I think that as soon as people can get back to conferences, from my perspective, if you really want to learn in-depth security topics, I think that the more local conferences are better, because the bigger they get, big international RSA, you're not going to learn anything new at RSA. But if you go to the local OWASP annual conference, you're going to have a lot of researchers and developers from your community. You can really talk in depth about projects that they're doing. So if you want to learn security, go to the local conferences. If you want to do some networking, or you want to do some more thought leadership and more high level kind of trends, then go to the bigger international conferences. This is my opinion.
Yeah.
I love the OWASP conferences. OWASP and DevSecCon are sort of a toss-up for me, because basically they only talk about my area of expertise, and I always learn so much. Sorry about someone's having like some sort of car alarm issue. I don't know if you can hear that, but basically, sorry, that's confusing.
So maybe let Vandana talk, and then we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Turns that fire out. Vandana.
Oh, Vandana, your favorite conferences.
Okay, my favorite ones are in India. In India, we have a lot of fun, like B-Sides Delhi, OWASP C-Sides, Nalcon, OWASP conferences, all day DevOps. That's one amazing conference. It's an online conference, but I really love it the way it is.
What about Cocoon?
Oh yes, Cocoon. How can I miss that? Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So we have a few Indian conferences which are like really warm, which makes you feel home. So yes, I love them.
Okay, the car alarm is over. So when I first started in Infosec, I wanted to learn everything, and I was trying to figure out what my specialty would be. And I found it really, I would go and watch every talk that sounded even remotely interesting. And I found it, all of them interesting. But then as I started to specialize, and so I've really specialized at this point, like I know a fair bit of Azure security, but mostly I'm just completely obsessed with like how to secure software, specifically like the secure system development lifecycle, and especially how to weave security through like a really efficient, fast, amazing DevOps like world or environment or processes or systems. Like, so I'm like really excited about DevOps, I'm really excited about like securing software. And so at first, like any conference every talk was like, wow. But then now I'm like, I just want to know super, super niche like AppSec things and DevSecOps things. So there's certain speakers and writers that I follow really closely now, like my friend Clint Gibbler. So he has this Too Long Didn't Read security newsletter, which is really good. And his talks are always like a zillion other talks condensed. So I feel like Clint does hundreds of hours of work and then feeds it to his audience, i.e. me, in like 1 hour. I also like following things like anything out of the Netflix.
Where can you read these materials?
Oh yeah, I'm going to share that 1 second. I'm going to put it in so TLDR sec. So Too Long Didn't Read sec. And so his newsletter is free. It's really great. Oops, no, I put in the wrong part. Ignore that. I'm going to put it in the chat for everyone instead of just me and Vandy. There we go. And like anything from the Netflix AppSec team, they're doing really creative things there. Some of the Microsoft teams, Slack, like a bunch of like companies are coming out and just like sharing really cool stuff. Like the Airbnb team, I saw a talk by one of their incident responders, and he talked about like when you have a bug bounty, if someone submits a bug and that bug is in prod and it's a serious bug, they initiate their full incident response process to investigate as to if it's already been exploited. Like they assume breach from the beginning. And like he talked about all these different things that they found and didn't find by like implementing, the new ideology of assume breach. And it's just like so cool. if that makes sense. So like hearing like really specific strategies that have worked well really like is so interesting for me. So my favorite conferences are the ones where I can see those talks, and they're always either OWASP or DevSecCon, and like DevSecCon kind of like came out of OWASP, right? So it's like that community is always just like constantly doubling down on how to be like 2, 3, 4 times better than you were before you got there, but they only cover like this one topic, right? So I find like as the years go on, I've become like more obsessed with like just seeing those things, and I'll be like in the front row for a talk. I'm like zoning everything else out. I'm like, it's just me and you. I'm so excited. Yeah, I speak at conferences so I can get in free.
It's a fair deal.
It's such a good deal. It's so good.
I can't wait for you to speak at ABSEC next year.
Oh,
in
me too.
Dublin.
Oh my gosh. Keynoting my favorite conference. I was like, don't cry, don't cry. When they asked, I'm like, be cool, be cool.
Yeah, it's such a shame it didn't go through this summer, but I think
Oh,
given the
that's okay.
circumstances, it's kind of better off not.
I've been waiting like 6 or 7 years, so I can wait a few more months.
Only a little bit more.
There are more questions in the chat. Can I like ask some of the more cool questions in the chat? So someone was commenting, so I've started learning some challenges for students to learn new things. Can you ladies provide some suggestions of how to design challenging CTFs, like how to build one yourself if you're building them? So she's a teacher. Oh, that's cool.
I think I work with a lot of people that play CTFs or own their own CTF company, and kind of the biggest way to find how to make a CTF challenge is look at the current exploits that happened or vulnerabilities that have been, like there was one there recently, like Zoom could be one. Make a CTF challenge out of Zoom. I'm not sure how you do it, but you could find something. Or like making bots, and you have to ask the bot for flags, and it'll only give you if you ask a certain phrase, or like we do them in Irish, so we do like an Ceadagan Dogus an Letras, which is like, can we go to the toilet? It's just like a common phrase that people say in Ireland, people ask for a phrase, so you ask the bot that question, the bot will spit back the answer. Or there's many. Looking at the current trends is a big one, or web challenges are great, like the OWASP top 10. If you can fit some of those, like maybe a cross-site script in and it pops up with the flag, or a SQL injection, or there's many different challenges that you can do. Look at write-ups on GitHub is the best one, I think. Get inspiration from someone else and make it your own. I'm sure
I like that.
the ladies might have more options.
I like that as a lot.
Yeah, to look for newly published vulnerabilities, or kind of mimic hacks that happened recently. I think it's a great idea.
I would say too, like, look at the stuff that happens at work and like what you find and you wish people would stop doing. So like, if you see lots of cross-site scripting, then like do a challenge where they have to get past different filters, and then show them like, this is basically like, you can get past blacklists, and that's why we need whitelists. Maybe I'm biased.
Also, if this is a feature and the school has a website, or I don't know, maybe the teacher has some kind of software to update students' grades, then kind of like try to let the students hack it, make them find vulnerabilities, and then make them close those, and then it's like a win-win kind of thing.
Like a privilege escalation?
Yeah, or like kind of a public pen testing project.
I like
that
that
idea.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
Students will learn that the whole case. Yeah.
So someone is asking, there's so many opportunities to learn at these conferences. And then the person below said, but what online AppSec conferences are you going to speak at though? So ladies, which places are y'all speaking at coming up? Let's list them.
Tanya, you mentioned a few.
So I'm going to be speaking for AppSec conferences, Hella Secure, which if you scroll up in the chat, so that's free and that's online and that's all AppSec only. And then there's a global virtual AppSec day. Wait, just a second. AppSec days. Yeah, that's what. But that's just going to be a 90-minute keynote basically, which I mean, I'm still going to watch, but I wouldn't call it a conference per se. So that one. And then what other ones would we say?
So OWASP chapter leaders are planning to have something which is online, which is going to run for a whole day. The CFP is going to open soon, wherein it's going to be divided into like every part of the world. Like the chapter leaders will get some time, let's say 1 hour or 2 hour slot, and then they will be moderating it, and all the speakers would be coming in at their time and then speaking. So probably that will also be decided soon. The discussion is going on right now with all the chapter leaders across the world.
Yeah.
Are they calling it AppSec Earth or OWASP Earth, I think?
I think so, yes.
It's cute, right? I like it. I think it's really wonderful.
Yes.
Do you think Infosec girls might run a conference or WOSEC?
Oh,
So WOSEC is having online streams with different chapters. So we've been doing some where all of the chapters work together, but it's a lot the individual chapters doing things. So like my chapter is having like little streams with just us so that the community that like we've built can stay in touch, if that makes sense. So we're having like brunch and bitches where like we all like are at our own house, and then we have like a Zoom chat where we're all nerds together, and then we all eat our breakfast. I mean, it's not as good because we have to make our own food. Obviously, that's crap, but but otherwise, it's really fun.
I think that if our audience know of more online conferences, it would be great if you write it on the chat or even tweet about it and tag us so that we could echo this to the rest of the community. Because I don't know about a lot of online conferences, and I'm assuming that a lot of conferences that were supposed to be held on-prem will now be held in the cloud. So it's a great opportunity to spread the word. Even us in OSP Israel, we already started planning our annual conference. And once COVID started, we kind of stopped, and we might switch to an online conference.
Oh, that's cool. I'm just going to share 4 that I previously shared because we have a lot more people on the call now than we did at the beginning. So all the talks online, All Day DevOps Spring Break Edition, Hella Secure, Hella Conf 2020, and then Isolation Con from the Many Hats Club, and then the Virtual AppSec Days from OWASP. So that's a pretty good start. I've been streaming regularly, like not to only talk about myself, but for a second, I'm going to talk about myself. So I have a mailing list, and basically like I've just been inviting people to come on the internet with me and goof off. And so I've been doing like Ask Me Anything AppSec. So I'm putting my mailing list there, and it's free, but if you sign up, basically I'll invite you. And so I'm doing like Ask Me Anything DevSecOps or Ask Me Anything Cloud Security, and then I'm just solving people's problems for an hour. And then I've also been doing like, I've just been building cool shit and GitHub Actions because I'm creating a course for my website. And so I've just been streaming me building and breaking things live. Oh, thank you,
Do you think
Ishak.
you'll do them? Do you think you'll do your streams earlier or for the other time zones, or?
So I've been doing 2 a week. So I've been doing like 1 at 10 a.m. my time, which would be, so what time is it for you right now? It's 6 p.m. So that, yeah, so
almost.
So then some of them will be at 6 p.m. for you. And then other ones are like in the evening for me. So that would be really late for you. It would be too late.
Are they recorded?
Yeah, so they are all on, you're so smart, Shira. As usual. So all of the videos stay online for 2 weeks. And they're all here. I'm just gonna put it in the chat for everyone. So you can see, I have like, I don't know, I have 7 videos right now, and they expire after 2 weeks. I'm taking a bunch of them. So like the Ask Me Anythings, you know, sometimes there's 7 or 8 questions, and I'm cutting all the videos. And by me, I mean, I just hired a video person and it's amazing. And that person's way better at than I am. And so we're cutting it into like little short blurbs and then making blog posts out of it. So it's like, here's the video of me explaining, and then here's like a bunch of links I talked about. And then here's like more background information that I didn't think of at the time. So that I want to have like this big, huge knowledge base of where someone's like, what's a day in the life of, you know, what's a day in the life of a DevSecOps engineer? Like, what do they do every day? And then I have a blog post. So I'm going to eventually have like, hopefully hundreds. It's pretty, yeah, it's like pretty fun. So I'm like releasing one of those every day for my members, which is, it's fun. Yeah. So, but I'm trying to make like lots of content for the community and not just only for my members, but it's like a weird line to walk because I still have to pay my bills and my employees.
Do we have other questions from the audience?
We probably do. Let me check. Okay, so
I think I have a secret to share with everyone. Ever since we've been, you know, in quarantine, all I wear is conference swags. So Microsoft, AWS. I'm like, this is all I wear all the time. Thank you.
That's hilarious. We do have
absolutely no reason to wear jeans.
Yeah, no, of course not. Yeah, I wear a lot of swag. I've just the past couple of days been trying to dress up more because it turns out it makes me feel nice, if that makes sense. Like, because I was just wearing swag, but then I would travel and then I would look really pretty at conferences. And then I'm like, oh, I've just been wearing like yoga pants for like 8 weeks maybe. So there's 2 more questions in the chat. So a whole bunch of people are thanking us, and that's wonderful. So one person was saying, so there's like 2 ethical hacking types of questions. And one is, could you share some crazy proof of concepts for ethical security war games? And the other one is, how do you find security vulnerabilities in the cloud? So they're totally unrelated, but I just remembered we didn't get to the one that was like, at the top of the chat. For cloud, like finding vulnerabilities, I would say like you look at all the same things you would on-prem except for extra cloudy things.
Yeah, so I could elaborate a little bit on that one.
Yes, please.
Because in the last few years, we did see some hacks happening in the cloud, but the attack vector itself was not unique to the cloud. Because if you leave credentials in GitHub, this is not special to the cloud. This is special to people being stupid. And you could have like left your credentials to your Gmail account or to your AWS account or to your on-prem server, right? It doesn't matter and it's not special. What are we seeing that is special to the cloud? We are seeing mistakes in the IAM, in the identity and access management. And for anyone who's trying to take a look at cloud vulnerabilities, this is where I would start. Make silly requests for tokens, try to log into places. I mean, S3 bucket is, you know, it's notorious for a reason. Let it go. Look for other new and cool stuff because it's not that special anymore. And I'm sick of people finding open buckets. I'm sick of people leaving buckets open, but let them go and look for the really cool stuff. This is going to help the industry mature up and get better at cloud security.
I agree so much. Yeah, try to talk to APIs, try to call serverless apps, try to trigger logic apps when you shouldn't be able to.
Inputs and outputs.
Yeah, inputs, outputs, and integrations are where all the special fun is. And if there's supposed to be a security control, make sure there is one. And then punch it in the face.
Yep. I mean, try to think about, as a software architect, what are the differences between an application that is a monolith compared to a container and microservices, a kind of application. What is the conceptual difference? And once you figured it out, even try to plan a small application of your own that has a few different microservices, like 3. Okay, you don't need to think about something super complicated and then writing it monolith as well. Think about the differences and where are the weaker points that are exploitable. It's usually going to be in the API and in how you design the communication between the microservices.
Truth. Someone was asking how they get started in our field. So I wrote 2 articles about that. So I'm going to share the articles in the chat as soon as I can just like locate the articles, because it turns out I write a lot. I'm like, where are all these articles coming from? Oh, I wrote them. But for the rest of you, and maybe especially Emma, since she just is starting in our field.
Yeah, so I'm currently still studying. I'm in my 3rd year. I have 1 more
All of
year
us
to
are
go.
studying all the time. You're
Yeah,
not just studying, you're studying like the rest of us.
yeah, well, beginning to become into the industry. I work as a security analyst as well for EdgeScan. So we're a full stack web vulnerability company. And I'm so thankful for the owner, for giving me the opportunity to join the company. So I worked as an intern then all of last summer, and I got offered then to go part-time. So I work 2 days a week, but it's 2 intense days. And, I've learned like, I couldn't even like describe how much I've learned in such a short time. And like getting to pass it on and, like teach other people and put it towards CTFs was a huge one as well. Like that's kind of, I got to develop my web skills. But getting into the industry, it's like, find something that you do and you love. Like I love maths. I wanted to be a maths teacher. I never wanted to be in cyber ever. And I kind of, things didn't work out for me. So I just went back and, I re-evaluated what I wanted to do, and I love problem solving. So it just seemed, cyber seemed like a good reason to jump. And then I have family as well that are all in the cyber industry. So they kind of inspired me to want to just work with computers 24/7. So I don't really, it depends. Like if you love computers and you love problem solving, I think jump into it. There's tons here for everyone to learn. Get on forum pages, get in with the WOSEC and the Infosec girls chapters, the OWASP chapters, find someone, make a friend. And then, I met Tanya through Twitter, so, and Vandana as well through the OWASP community. And now I've met yourself through it. So I kind of, I've learned, and I've, following other people, I've learned a lot more than I thought I would have. So like Tanya's website is brilliant. I think if you are going to do one thing, I'd recommend that be the one site to look at first. There's like, I don't know, there's so much out there, so much knowledge that you can get from other people. I think OWASP is a good start anyway, I think, for everyone. But yeah, unless, I don't know, I don't really know what else to share other than don't give up, just keep going, never stop. If you want something, you'll work really hard to get it. So yeah.
I love that. I think that's the best part. If you love something, you just keep working at it, you will definitely get there.
Yep.
Definitely.
So Tanya had a hashtag OWASP love. So I met all the other ladies like Tanya, Shira, and Emma, all of you via OWASP. And then Tanya started with the hashtag yeah,
OWASP love.
Yes.
There's another hashtag too that might help people called Cyber Mentoring Monday. And so every Monday, so it used to just be Mentoring Monday, and then it got so big that all these other people started using it. And that's cool, except it was hard for us to find each other. So now it's Cyber Mentoring Monday, and every Monday people tweet out when they need help. I also launched a really new one recently called Ask Infosec. So again, you use hashtags on Twitter, and it's the $, and then whatever the hashtag is, you have to put it in each tweet. If you don't put it in the tweet, if you just respond to my tweet or someone else's tweet, then when people search, they can't find you. I know that that sounds really obvious to the people that are on here, like on this chat, but the people watching, they might not know because almost no one uses it. And then people will search the hashtag and they won't see you. And basically people in the industry are responding to people who ask for help. And you might see only 2 responses, but there's probably like 10 other responses that are secret and private indirect messages. So open your direct messages, use the hashtag and say, you know, like, I'm really interested in CTFs. Like, could I join someone's CTF team? You know, I don't know what I'm doing. I really want to be a bug hunter. Can someone direct me to some resources? Or who should I follow? Or what book should I read? Or can someone have a virtual coffee with me because I want to talk about, you know, like, I'm about to graduate. I think I really want to do this. What things can I do to make sure I get to this goal? And lots of people are pairing off and forming friendships and professional relationships. People are introducing people to each other and finding jobs. Someone came up to me at DefendCon, which is a conference in Seattle for women and allies, which was amazing. And he said, I need to thank you because I participated in Mentoring Monday and I started mentoring this young lady. And then after a year, now she works on my team. Do you know how cool it is to hire someone that you trained for a year and then they're just amazing all the time and they can read your mind? And like, she is my favorite employee I've ever had. And we would never have met each other if it wasn't for Cyber Mentoring Monday. So you can use these things to kind of like join in the community and contribute. So if you're watching and you have a lot of experience, if you answer someone, like, you have made their entire week. It's so touching to hear like how positively it affects different people when more experienced people reach out, and you can give the tiniest amount of help, like, this book really helped me, or like, watch this video, this is the video that whatever, right? Like, it's pretty magical to have strangers reach out and just help you because they want you to join our community and industry.
Yeah, it's great because the hashtag as well, there was a woman commented under it looking for CTF help, and I kind of just slided in, and another guy that I know, we kind of both helped her, and now she's like loving the CTF world. So it's great to see someone, you know, all they need is that little push from someone else, maybe give them advice on what to do, and then, you know, like 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe down the line, they're flying and they're teaching themselves now. And it's great because we still keep in contact with the girl. So she's really nice, and she was really young as well, so it was kind of great to chat to someone on the same level as me and not someone that's like 50 years experience. And I'm, you know, it's kind of, I think that's a big jump as well. Like, you know, it's great to hear from other people that have so much experience, but then I kind of like to know, you know, who's on my same level, you know, and they can teach me and show me other things. But on that note as well, like, if anyone is looking for CTF help, I'm more than happy to help. I'm not an expert at all, but I've been around for the last 3 years playing CTFs, and I kind of have a bit of knowledge in certain areas. So if anyone's happy, I'm on Twitter. You can catch me on Twitter. Loving your background, Vandana.
Me too. I'm just going to share everyone's Twitter handles in the chat so people can follow us if they want.
Great. And maybe we have time for like one last question.
Okay. So, the most recent comment is, Shira sounds so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And the most recent question is, what up? Oh, and then someone is waving and saying hi. Someone named
Hi.
BB is waving at you, Emma.
Oh, nice.
Let me see if there are any more like specific questions other than just like, everyone's awesome. Oh,
Is anyone doing anything? Is it Easter weekend for you guys?
It is Easter weekend.
Yeah.
And there are no more questions in the chat at this point, but I'm just going to share really quickly all of our handles. So what do you ladies want to ask each other?
I have so many questions.
So many things.
So many things. I have a question for all of you. How are you coping with this time?
It's tough. Sometimes I don't know, I don't think it's going to get any easier for anyone. I think we kind of just have to cope with the situations that are going on. Hopefully that we don't go into a full lockdown where it's like no going outside over here. because cases are jumping for us. But I think, I don't know, how's it like in Canada for you, Tanya?
It is a bit weird. Like I'm doing surprisingly well. Like, I mean, I just launched my new business, and the new business was supposed to be me traveling around giving training in person. And so all of my money was canceled for the whole year. It's like having all of my income like canceled was like pretty scary. But then a bunch of people are like coming around, and then I've found different avenues where I can still get paid for different types of work, if that makes sense. And it turns out like maybe I'm gonna like this better. Like it sounds weird, but staying home has resulted in me like getting lots of exercise, lots of sunlight, like more healthy living, eating so much better. Like I'm like, I haven't like lost weight, if that makes sense, but like, cause I've been exercising and like eating so much better, I've like toned up and I have like way better muscle definition, and I'm like, yeah. So it turns out like being home a lot and is good for my health. And then everyone that I know is like calling to check in on me all the time. So I've been like kind of having like lots of like love and affection being sent my way, which has been really nice. So I know I'm supposed to say it's awful and I'm scared all the time, but I've managed to kind of like take the anxiety around this and put it in like a little box and tell myself like, let's not worry about those things till I need to, if that makes sense.
I think it's good for the Infosec industry. Is like we can still do everything that we used to do. We're just not exactly all meeting up. I think we're missing the networking side of things. That might be the biggest thing we're losing out on. But you know, we're still getting to go to conferences and learn and work from home. Like there's some people that haven't been fortunate enough to be able to work from home, and they've had to take sacrifices. So it's a huge I don't know. There's a good word for it.
I feel a lot of gratitude to all the people that are continuing to work and taking risk essentially on our behalf, right? Like all the people in Canada's food supply, right? All the people that are making sure the internet is still turned on so that we're not all completely disconnected and no one can work and everyone shuts down, right? Like people at the drugstore there making sure that like mandatory prescriptions that we can't live without are still happening. I'm trying to show like extra kindness to every person I can. People in my neighborhood are painting beautiful things in their windows. Like someone put like, "We got this" in their window, and like people are putting beautiful hearts and like sending messages of love to the neighbors. All the neighbors like wave hello from afar. And like I've been building, so I build things for amusement and exercise and stress relief. And anyway, I've been building like all of these garden boxes, and then I'm planting food, right? And so in a few months I'll have food, like vegetables that can feed way, 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 way more than the people in just my life. So I'm planning to like share them back in effective ways for people that need them the most. So I think like a lot of people are trying to help each other, and that's really beautiful. Like a bunch of my neighbors, we were all like chatting from afar to make sure everyone had enough toilet paper. Because apparently everyone thinks that COVID makes you need a lot of toilet paper, even though that's not true. There are some really short questions in the chat. So someone wanted to repeat their question. So one question is, do we have any more scheduled talks here? And no, we don't have any scheduled yet. I don't know if we're planning on that, but I am doing like so many talks. I don't think I could do this that often because I'm trying to reach out to many communities personally, but I can't speak for the rest of you.
We will try to publish online if we have more of these.
Yeah.
Cool. And then to someone's question that is repeated, can you all share crazy proof of concepts for ethical security war games? So I don't understand that question. So crazy proof of concepts. So I'm not going to share exploits that I wrote ever, no offense. And also most exploits I wrote were like for a specific client, and then they keep them and it's their property. And then ethical security war games. So when you say a war game, to me, that means a CTF that is online, that isn't at a specific time. It's just available for anyone to do at any point. So for war
Could
games.
possibly they mean defense and attack kind of CTF. That's kind of,
Maybe.
I think that might be what they're on about. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. So I don't have any to share on that. I've never played that type of CTF. Emma, anyone else?
There are people who are actually solving hack the box like virtual machines, and they are posting all the POCs, what they did, what they found. I think that can be taken that as a proof of concept. Or even if someone is finding a nice vulnerability, they're posting it on their blogs. That can be referenced here.
Okay, so my
GitHub
friend
is great.
Rana Khalil, she actually has solved almost 100% of the Hack in the Box games, and she's been blogging each one of them. So I just put her Twitter handle, so follow her. She's incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, and she's like relentless. I think she has like 2 boxes left, and she's just like shattering one after the next and then writing up every part of it. So it's pretty cool.
I think UK Daniel Card on Twitter, he's great if you're looking to learn CTFs. He does blog posts, and he has his own company, Pond Defend, and he's like, I followed him during the summer, and it's just like I've learned so much from one person, you know, about CTFs. So I can't remember. I think it's his handle is UK_Daniel_card, I think.
Oh yeah, I know that dude. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to share his handle in the chat. So there's some questions. Shira, you mentioned about container security. So are there any particular labs for Docker security testing, and what kind of solutions do you prefer for container security specifically? I have thoughts, but he asked you.
So before I give any official recommendations, I have to say that containers is not my specialty yet. I'm looking into that and trying to learn more about how to do good container security. So once I feel like I know enough to recommend, I'll be happy to maybe blog or do a webinar about it. Sorry, this is the answer at the moment.
That's okay. My friend Imran over at Practical DevSec Ops, he created, so where is his thing? So he actually has like a course on Docker security and like with labs and exercises, and he was giving it away free. So I'm gonna put that, I just put that into the chat. So he has like a Docker security thing that he gave away via email. I'm not sure if it's free now, but I was signed up for that. It was cool. Also, oh, thank you. And then also like basically scanning. So Docker security is you hardening your Docker images, you monitoring them, alerting if things are bad, but then also like scanning them before you release them. So to scan them before you release them, you could use like Aqua, or you could use Twistlock, which I think Sneak just bought. Sneak just bought them, but
Twistlock?
There's like a pardon?
Twistlock were bought by Palo Alto.
Yes. Okay, that's who bought them. Okay, yeah. But I think Sneak bought a different tool then that does container scanning. But basically, like you want to scan the containers before you release them to make sure you've properly hardened them. So by hardening, I mean like closing ports, like doing every single configuration so that to make sure it's the most secure it can be, and also to make sure it's up to date.
The configuration, and usually want to scan the image and make sure that the image is clean and safe to use, because very often you download images from wherever.
Yeah, like
so,
Docker Hub.
Yeah, and very often these images are vulnerable, and just like in any other opportunity, you use a third-party code, you don't really look into that and make sure that that code or that container is safe for you to use. Some Dockers that you download are doing crypto mining built in addition to whatever application you intended to run over there. So always, do some sanity check to the application itself that is running in the container.
Someone also pointed out that Twistlock is now called Prisma Compute. So it's not called Twistlock anymore. So thank you, Shaisha. Cool. So we are way past our hour now.
Yeah.
So we're at 80 minutes. So we might want to wrap things up because we've gone into mega overtime and it's probably really late at night for Vandana.
Yeah.
It's okay, but I'm glad that we all could connect and be there at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Tal. So Tal Mel is on, he's one of the project leaders for OWASP. Hi, Tal.
Oh, yeah.
So all these people are saying wonderful thank yous to us in the chat.
I think,
Thank you.
ladies, if we're going to end here, do you have one person maybe on Twitter or someone you want to share that you'd recommend everyone to follow? Or I think if I was going to pick someone, it would definitely be Tanya to follow. She hacks purple, so that's my number one. So
Well, I was just going to
if you
list you three, so now I can't do that.
Well, I don't want to leave people out either, but if I was only to pick one, you'd be definitely my number.
Aw. I think I would pick the DevSlop team because we tweet a whole bunch of things between the four of us. So it's Nancy, Franziska, Nikki, and I. And so that's fun because we tweet, so we interview lots of different women in tech about all these things. Oh, and also my friend Terry Radical. She's like a badass cloud hacker chick. She smashes all the things. She was like, oh, I had a pen test to do like an API, like to pen test an API. So I just wrote my own fuzzer. I'm just like, oh yeah, just like whatever. Like that's just so effortless, Terry. She's pretty awesome. What about you, ladies?
I follow Corey Quinn. He tweets about AWS stuff, not necessarily security, but he's really funny and is full of knowledge about cloud in general and about funny and bad stuff that are happening in AWS. So whenever I read these tweets, I always try to think about what can I do with it security-wise.
Cool. I was on his show. He is such a smart ass. He's so funny. And Vandy?
I follow Tanya. I follow Akash Mahajan. He just open sourced his whole cloud security training, so people can actually check that out. That's really wonderful.
How do you spell Akash?
I can just.
Or you put it in the chat?
Yes, I just put it in our chat, and then I'll just send the Twitter handle.
I can find it. Don't worry. Just keep talking.
Yes.
I found him.
And then I follow Anand Srivastav. These three people top my list without a doubt. I have learned a lot from because of all three of you, I would say.
That's awesome. I'm going to follow these people. I already knew the other ones. Oh, I am following
Tanya.
Yep. And then what was the other one too?
I'm just gonna preview that. That's Anand Shri.
Anand Sharif?
Yes, Shri. I'll just ping you in the chat box.
Ah, there we go. Oh, Anand. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Wasp.
Okay. Well, now I'm following him too.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, they're in the chat now. Well, thank you, ladies. Wow. This has been like super duper fun. It is so nice to talk to all of you. And also now I can follow all these extra people, so that's really cool.
It's great to meet you all virtually as well. Hopefully one day at a conference soon.
Yeah, because then we can have hugs. I would say the main thing that I'm missing in this is just hugs. Like it sounds so silly, but like whenever I go to meetups, like people in Canada are very like friendly. And then people on the island are very, very, very friendly. So like everyone just gives me hugs all the time. And so I just have one person, like my sweetheart, who gives me hugs. And those are obviously the like great hugs. However, but it's like nice to hugs from everyone. And so I miss that. So I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in person someday and giving you real hugs instead of just virtual
Hopefully,
ones.
maybe OWASP Tel Aviv.
Soon. Take care, everyone. Wash your hands. Don't
Yeah.
don't hug people you don't know. And see you all soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you,
soon.
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
OWASP love.
Yeah.